Airbnb has become the new hot trend that you should not miss. Whether you're sitting in India, in Dubai, in Australia, Japan, or in Bali, there has been a lot of talk about Airbnb, or I should rather say short term rental, and the potential it has to become a really good income source, whether to do a business or from an investment perspective. To investors, it is giving a new opportunity to make more money from their real estate investments by getting a higher yield. For entrepreneurs or for people who have a more drive, it has opened a new scope to do business through the arbitrage model, through property manager, for real estate agents. I've talked about that in my other videos, so you can definitely check that out. But in short, it means that Airbnb or short-term rental has a lot of scope for all segments of people. However, I have to give you a reality check. It is not always a winning situation, especially if you don't play your cards right. Airbnb, like any other kind of investment or any kind of business, depends on a lot of factors for it to be actually successful. The apparent being finding the best or most suitable property which gives you that result that Airbnb supposedly promises you. So in this video, we'll be discussing exactly that, how to find the best property for Airbnb. So do watch it till the end. We'll be discussing what all factors you need to look at, the location, market analysis, property analysis, as well as laws and regulations which are super critical. My name is Preksha and I'm an Airbnb super host in Goa, India. I manage a couple of properties, so I have practical experience of this industry that I would be definitely sharing with you. So when it comes to finding a property, especially for short-term rental or Airbnb perspective, even as an investment, there are three analyses that you are required to do. The first is market analysis, because at the end of the day, it is a part of a real estate. You cannot do Airbnb without a good property. And when we talk about real estate, we have to consider the local market, the demand, and the supply there. The second is laws and regulations, which is kind of linked to market analysis also. However, they do require a thorough research from your end. These laws and regulations will vary from city to city, state to state, and even country to country. And third is property analysis. What type of property should you go for? A short-term rental property will have certain features to make it more lucrative for Airbnb, and that can give you higher yield. So we'll be covering this all in this video. Now, the first step if you want to enter the world of Airbnb or short-term rental is choosing the right market, and that calls for market analysis. For that, you must understand the dynamics of a location. These are dominated by a certain factors. The first one is demand and supply in the location for short-term rental specifically. Now, you want to pick a place, whether a city or a society within a city, that are popular for short-term rentals, whether for tourists, corporate travelers, business travelers, or anyone who's looking to stay in that area on a day-to-day basis, rather than going for a long-term, a 3 month or a 6 month or a year-long lease. For example, to help you understand better, in North Delhi, there are no offices as such, which would require a lot of business travel. There are no monuments or tourist sites as such where people would need a 1 or 2 night stay. So that might not be an ideal market from the short-term perspective. However, places like Goa, Bangalore, Mumbai, they have a lot of ingoing and outgoing of people who are looking to stay for a night or 2 nights or a week. So the point there is that we have to judge a market from the perspective whether a lot of people will be coming in and out of that place. For example, again, Dubai is a global city where there is a lot of influx of tourists as well as business travelers. That makes it an ideal place for Airbnb or short-term rental. In the demand and supply, you also have to consider seasonality. For example, a tourist-dependent state like Goa or Himachal has a seasonal cycle of visitors. In Goa, you can see the peak season is from November to March. Then during the monsoon, it completely shuts down. This affects the occupancy rate, which is the base for calculating your Airbnb results. So you have to account for these type of seasonality also when choosing a market. And in market analysis, the third point that you have to consider is competition. If a market has a good demand for Airbnb, then it can give you a signal that this is a place where your short-term rental might work out. But At the same time, you have to be careful that the competition is going to be high, so you will need to put in that extra effort to stand out in the market. Now, by looking at the demand and supply in the area, you should also look at the rental rates prevalent in that area. These rental rates play a big role in determining your Airbnb's rental yield or your ROI if you're doing a business on it. For example, in Goa, there are a lot of investment opportunities that is currently not saturated and can give a better potential for good returns from an investment angle, or if you want to do business, it might be able to give you a better ROI. Similarly, in Dubai also, since a lot of new projects are coming up there and the short-term rental demand there is high, it can be a good option to consider for your short-term rental game. Once you study the market a bit, you understand what kind of demand is there, you understand the rental rates there, whether it is good for your property purchase, or if you want to even follow the arbitrage model, you need to ensure that the local laws are favorable for short-term rental. Because running an Airbnb is completely legal till the law allows it to. For example, a state like Goa, which is a tourism dependent economy, here running an Airbnb is completely legal and even encouraged by the tourism department. But you must have a tourism license. So you need to research the local laws to do your business legally. Trust me, you should not skip on this point, because if you do a business legally, that will save you a lot of headaches going along the side. This is a hospitality industry and there can be a lot of things that can go wrong. If you have your legality sorted out, if you're doing things according to the law, you will have a way out and will not be stuck or will have to spend more than required. And also ensure compliance with taxation policies. In India, income from Airbnb rentals will be subject to income tax. Now that will depend on whether you are running it as a business or if it is your passive income, that will be your rental property income. We will discuss about this in a different video. I will make a video on it. So do subscribe to the channel and I will be releasing it soon. But the point that I want to convey here is research about all of these things, sort out these things. The simplest way you can do it is first going on Google, typing in your city, followed by Airbnb or short-term rental laws. That can be a starting point to research the laws. Now, after you have narrowed down the market and the laws are luckily favorable for you, the third thing that you have to do is property analysis. While there is no best property type, certain options will definitely give you more returns in the long term. There are a couple of factors you should consider before you make your call. The first one being location. Even in a state like Goa, certain locations would have a much better prospect for short-term rental. Your property must be at a well-connected and accessible. That would translate into higher occupancy as people prefer more accessibility. It must be close to major attractions, or if you are doing it in a metro city, it must be close to transportation hubs or business districts. For example, in a place like Bangalore, rentals around the IT parks would do typically more well than in a residential complex. Second, you must assess the condition and features of the property. Look whether the property requires any renovations, any repairs, what all amenities does it have, what all do you need to add, and consider your cost, whether as an investment or again if you're doing the arbitrage model. Look at the ongoing maintenance cost as well as the operational cost that would be around the area. That includes cleaning, that includes staff hiring, that includes laundry. Also, look at the unique selling points of that property. For example, this Airbnb is in a society that has a really beautiful swimming pool. That becomes a marketing selling point for me, and a lot of guests that I have got have especially appreciated the swimming pool, the vibe of the society, which turned out as a big advantage for me. Now, related to that only, if you are looking for a property in a society, you need to seek for their permissions, you need to understand the neighbors there, or if you're looking for an independent plot or an independent villa, you need to sort out the security. The point is, if you are going for an Airbnb-able property, you need to think from a guest perspective, whoever is going to come and stay there. You must ensure that the property has all the features and all the requirements that a guest who's coming for a vacation or for a meeting and is only going to be there for 1 or 2 days, they have everything sorted out. That goes from safety to even the enjoyment part of the property. And after you have done all these three kind of analysis, go on to the operational analysis and understand how the model will work out at that particular area. And for that, particular apartment or villa. There is again no best type of property. You need to check on some factors and make sure that they tick. However, investing in Airbnb, no matter in what part of the world you are sitting in, can be a big profitable venture if it is approved strategically. I hope you found this video to be helpful. I hope this can serve as a starting point for your research. If you have any doubts, any questions, do drop them in the comments below. I do definitely look at them and answer as much as I can. If you have anything else you would want to know, whether from an Airbnb perspective or from running business perspective, let me know and I will definitely cover that. See you on the next video.